what is an estate plan? A lot of our clients, this is maybe something that they procrastinate on, something that we put on everyone's checklist. Everyone we think should have an estate plan. So maybe you can give an overview and maybe why some would procrastinate on this.
Yeah, we have a similar experience with folks wanting to avoid the process of talking about death and falling ill, become incapacitated. So I think the term estate is misleading to people. We think of estates when people are deceased, right? Estate planning is certainly planning for when you pass, whether it be through the use of a will or a trust, other instruments. But we also find people neglect planning for while they're alive, right? So whether it's a use of a power of attorney, medical, financial, I would describe it as planning for, the worst is when you pass, when you're ill, when you become incapacitated.
Yeah, and we found Mac more recently with clients, right? Again, they hear that estate plan. I've been through it went through it with Mac. That once you have kids, it almost freezes you because you feel like I have to appoint a guardian. But I think we find more with our client base, the will's important, but that power of attorney can almost be, in some cases, more important. It doesn't turn more important, but just as important. And that's something, like you said, that could be needed much before the final will at any point in time.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have clients routinely, come in, I need a will, and just neglect the power of attorney. And I mean, really, if you become incapacitated, you're in a hospital, you're in a nursing home, and your spouse, your kids, your loved ones don't have a document that gives them decision-making authority, and the person can't at that point sign a power of attorney, they've lost their capacity, you have to go to court. You have to go in front of a judge. You have to have doctors testify. It's expensive. It is not pleasant. And I guess one takeaway I would mention for estate planning generally is the ability for you to make your wishes known in writing when you can. Those moments can vanish in a heartbeat, not to be dramatic. And then we don't know what you wanted, right? And B, it's too late, and we're having a judge make decisions that you could have.
Yeah. Yeah, good points. And we've kind of touched on a little some mention of will, some of power of attorneys. Can you go over like what are the key documents that everyone should have, and maybe a brief overview of what they are?
Sure. Yep. We refer to them if it's a couple, for instance, we refer to them as the legal six pack. So that's a will for each spouse. We often have people think that married couples share a will. They may be reciprocal and mirror wills, but they each have their own wills. So two documents there, and of course, again, the wills are covering where your assets pass, to whom, and what percentages, who your beneficiaries are at your death. We can structure inside the will ages that minors receive their inheritance through a trust, through built into the will, through a custodial account. Importantly, you can should identify who your children would go to live with, who would become their guardians, sort of a custody type animal in the will, who your executors are. So wills take care of all that. Financial powers of attorney. So I become incapacitated. I nominate my wife to handle my bill paying, my tax returns, anything financial under the sun, I delegate to her if I can't do it. And similarly, we have a medical power of attorney with an advance directive in it that is, again, directing who I want to make very significant, perhaps end of life medical decisions for me if I cannot. So that's sort of the package of documents. Now, obviously, we use the proviso of everybody's situation's different. Some people have some other documents that are not built into that standard six pack, but that's the starting point.